So now that I have all my controllers on my rig pretty much prepared, I'm going to go back and reconnect my character or rebind the geometry to those joints. So I'm going to click on the root joint again, click on the geometry. I'm actually going to delete history because the geometry has some history on it. So I'm going to delete history. I'm going to select the joint, the root joint, get the geometry. I'm going to go to my rigging menu set. I'm going to skin, bind skin, and joint hierarchy. I'm going to use geodesic in my case. It works because my character is closed. I don't have any openings on the geometry. I'm then just going to bind the skin, and that should do it. I made some little changes to my geometry so that actually my wave painting needs to be redone. But now if I can see my character responding in a very good manner to my positioning. Same with the arms and the legs. So I can go and manipulate. So some weight painting to be done there. In case that you had a weight painting done already and the weight painting got lost for whatever reason, you can simply just select the geometry and then you can go say skin, and then you can import the weight maps. I'm going to just do it here, although my weight maps probably won't work, but let's try it. So I'm going to go under my data files. I'm going to click on the weight map right there. So I'm going to open it up, and you see it kind of going through it, but rapidly it just goes and builds it up. And that way, for the most part, it should do it. Oh, actually, this one, because my geometry changed, it didn't do it correctly. So I guess I probably should just undo what I did before, just to make sure the rest. And again, didn't work in my case because I had made some modifications to the geometry, so it kind of lost some history there. So now I have my character ready. Let's say, for example, if I want to animate or pose the tail, I can select them all simultaneously, use the curve tool, and I can curve my tail in different directions, or I can just simply just work with them. I can do with some weight painting on it and improve it a little bit more, but in general I'm pretty satisfied with what I have, and I should be able to work with it. One last thing, I'm going to I can pose. I didn't do any controllers for the feet, for the toes, but you can do the same thing, create some basic controllers on each one of the toes if you want to go and modify them and position them to make them work. It becomes a bit annoying maybe to make all those controllers, but yes, that's the way they work, and they will become, of course, part of the same chain there, of the food chain, actually. All right, so one last thing I'm going to show here is that, for example, things like eyeballs or the tongue or the teeth, if you have them separately, right now they are not part of the rig. So those I'm going to just simply select them and make them child of that joint that controls the upper head. I'm going to press P. That way I can now go and animate my character and have a position my character and have the eyeballs move. Let's see how this one worked. I didn't do any weight painting on it, but it's pretty decent. It's doing some movement of the upper head, but after this, it's just pretty much going and doing some weight painting that I'm not going to do in this video, but it will give you a good reference. In case you forgot how to do weight painting, simply just go and select the geometry and call skin, and then paint skin weights, open them up, and you get to see all your joints, and you can select and start using your brush to add influence at certain places, and you play with the values so that you paint on each joint as you are correcting your influence. Say, for example, if I want my head to follow this joint, which is my joint 9, I'm just gonna make sure to find my joint number 9 there. And I probably should have done a better naming convention for my joints, but since I'm not too worried about this full rig, joint 7, joint 9 there is. So I'm going to just see that it's kind of grayed on top, so that doesn't have enough weight painting, so I'm just gonna actually not displace but add and we're just gonna do add 0.3 value. That way I start kind of making the top part of the head follow that joint 9, of course. That way when the head goes up and down, there is no doubt they are going to follow that joint. In case you paint and you're not sure if it is blending correctly from one joint to the next one, you can do a little bit of smoothing just to relax a little bit. That would be a bit too much, like that. So now I can go and test the head again, or the head should do what it needs to be doing, and the jaw now I can see the jaw. I can still see the jaw moving, the upper crest there. So I'm gonna go back and fine tune that. You can see it there, the joint 9 is not influencing there. You can see it black and white. If you activate the color, the ramp, that shows you that the joint 9 is not influencing that area. So I just need to paint there until it becomes all white. Sorry, let me make sure that I have joint 9 selected, because it seems like I'm not selecting joint 9. Let me undo that. It was selected, so let's make sure that it's painted there. Just add, I'm saying not smooth, but add influence. That's why I was breaking it. Alright, so that makes it more believable now. And now I can just go and test my jaw. So you have to go back and fine tune the way painting. Of course, this guy can go back to 0, which is where it was bound. Alright, I got my rig done, ready to be positioned and placed, and of course I should be able to manipulate some of those controllers. Of course the arms and the legs are not following because they are intended to be separate. That way you can create a good pose of your creature. Alright, I'm going to just save my file, and I'm going to just save this one, increment and save here, and that will be it for your basic rig.